I wish I'd watched the. Yeah.
I got about 15 minutes to go on American Friend. I was trying to catch up to the end before, but I didn't want to keep you guys waiting any longer.
Okay. I did watch Purple Noon first and then American Friend, and that is the right way to watch them.
That is the right.
Okay. Okay. True.
And I'm going to start off by mentioning that I love a podcast that reviews Hallmark movies, and when they review Hallmark movies, they rate the overall moppetry of the movie based on a scale of 1 curly sue to 5 curly sues. And I have a very similar scale for Dennis Hopper movies, except they all start at 5. So it's 5 Dennis Hoppers or more. I'm giving this film 7 Hoppers out of 5.
I'm with you.
This is a 7 Hopper film.
Dang.
He was still in the midst of his substance.
Oh, is he? There they are, the little 7 Hoppers.
Has Dennis Hopper ever made a movie where he wasn't wearing a cowboy hat?
He was on 24 and he didn't have a cowboy hat because he was playing a
also got to remember, this is
playing a Serbian.
He was Rebel Without a Cause. He was
out in the.
You notice the director of Rebel Without a Cause.
Oh yeah, he was in this.
Dare what?
1977. This is pre-apocalypse now, and there was a 5-year period where he was like out in the wilderness. Go look at the IMDb. The last movie I think was a year before this, which is kind of a weird one to catch at some point. But he shouldn't have been in this movie, because why would anybody put him in anything at this point?
The director wanted to have John Cassavetes in it, and Cassavetes said no, and then recommended Hopper. And so when he got Hopper, he hired a bunch of other directors to play the fucking mobsters, which is amazing. Like, that's such a good call.
Sam Fuller, right?
Fuller being the porn.
Fuller,
Now there are parts about the film.
Is that who that is?
This film had a neat feel to it. It felt like a little bit like Conversation. It was kind of ugly 70s interior, exterior kind of thing. It was this beautiful looking film.
This is what I said.
Serpico also.
It is gorgeous looking.
Shit on European filmmakers, whatever, blah blah. What I found interesting about this was this was made in 1970.
Blah blah blah.
Came out in 77, right?
Yeah.
This feels like the movies that Americans were making 6 years earlier, which are also, from a narrative standpoint, very loosely hung together a lot of the time.
Like Killer's Kiss or like.
I have a question. I have a question as someone who didn't finish it. Does anything happen in this movie?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, the last 45 minutes of the movie are where everything happens.
Like, this movie snaps into, for me, like the first 40, like I was telling John, because I actually saw him yesterday because we were stuck all day in the vet with the fucking cat. The first 40 minutes of this movie I would describe as murky. Like, what's happening?
Yeah.
I can't
Well, it's like nothing. It's just like
happening. And then all of a sudden he gets to the subway.
Yep.
I'll say this movie is maybe one of the worst Hitman movies I've ever seen.
No, he was the worst hitman in movies.
It is also one of the best train movies I've ever seen.
Yes.
Shoot the guy and then don't run away. Keep walking. Just act normal. Just keep walking. It's fine. Shoot him. Immediately runs away the wrong way down an escalator, and then is on every camera all the way out, including his face. While he's just
nobody's looking at the cameras.
Yes, no one's paying attention to the cameras.
The entire subway scene is extremely well done and riveting.
Yeah,
there's
it was.
Train scene, same thing, completely riveting.
Yeah.
Like, yes, the movie half the time doesn't seem to know what it's doing, and then all of a sudden it's like, whoa, wow, this is great.
No, the action sequences are really good. I mean,
except when they're not.
But everything in between is filler. That's the thing.
Well,
okay. Yeah. Can I just say, there's a moment.
There's a moment. Music and romance. It's like a Marx Brothers movie.
There's more bad diegetic music in this, by the way. The guy playing the fucking piano in the apartment.
Oh, that was annoying.
God, what are you doing?
He's reading the death warrant. He's got the report from the doctor, and he's reading it, and the guy decides that's the time he should start plinking away on the piano.
Yeah. Well, again, you want to be on the nose about this. I would like to have seen him decline. Although at the end, which you guys missed, he's in bad shape. He's like exhausted and can't even see straight. And
Bruno Gans character.
Yeah, Bruno Gans. Yeah,
because he was left outside in the freezing cold all night by Ripley, who keeps popping out the window. drops the food he's gonna
I know
give
his
him.
rest of a sandwich that drops on the floor and says, "Oh, sorry, you don't get fed." And the guy's like dying out there, literally.
I did
So-
get that far.
Okay.
So is Dennis Hopper's character supposed to be the same guy later?
Yeah.
Although,
Yeah.
what the fuck happened to him?
Right.
I guess
but
he
at the-
survived.
but-
I guess he got out getting arrested in Italy, and he's
Yeah, I
all
was gonna
there
say
now.
like at
Became
the end
Seven
of
Hoppers.
he's getting arrested at the end of Purple
No,
Noon.
no, but but I mean, Tom Ripley keeps coming back for 5 novels.
Right. In the
Yeah.
book,
This is
in the
like
book,
the
he doesn't
third
get
novel.
arrested. He doesn't get arrested at the end. He gets away with it.
He gets away
No,
with it.
no, the
Yeah.
uncut version of Plan Soleil, he jumps in the ocean and swims all the way to the United States. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
I don't know. Then goes
And he raises out of the water and takes down the bridge.
Exactly
Yeah.
right.
Yeah,
like I don't know. You guys probably didn't even notice. Like there's at one point where like Hopper's got a zit about the size of a small asteroid.
Oh yeah.
This is not Alain Delon.
No,
Like-
it's not.
No.
No.
What happened to that?
Although I don't know, I didn't mind him. I thought that Hopper really brought something to it. I thought
Hopper was great. It's just
Yes, 7 hoppers worth.
exactly. He really did bring. He brought his weird Hopper
Is it-
energy to the thing.
None of
It's
you
better
guys
than-
brought this
it's-
up yet.
It's
Uh,
better
I got
than
the feeling-
fuck
I got
that
the feeling-
Pabst Blue Ribbon.
If anybody,
I got the feeling Wim Wenders got bored about halfway through
How
this
many-
movie because there's like a moment after the first murder, which the things preceding kind of like, okay, so it's like they're framing Bruno Gann's character to do these murders with this fake diagnosis, and I was understanding everything, and I got who the characters were and what was going on. And then there's a scene about halfway through after the first murder, and Dennis Hopper jumps up on that embankment, like or whatever it is, and he's like, "I'm confused," and he starts walking along that thing, and then we cut to
Towards the Twin Towers.
yeah,
that's like the motto of the movie at this point, because from this point on I was confused.
Well,
It cut to all these guys that were doing what, making a porno or whatever. You
Yeah.
said
Yep.
these were all these
well, Nick Ray,
Yeah, for
Nick
sure.
Ray says it. He says he's confused.
fuck. And then from that point I really didn't understand anything that was happening in the movie.
No,
Okay.
well, the movie doesn't understand what's happening in the movie, but that's fine.
Okay.
Like it's complete. Like it's funny because it's sort of the opposite of what I felt last week, where I didn't like the fact that the movie didn't understand what was happening. In this one, to me, it's just like
It doesn't care.
everybody's fucked up in this, and we're just gonna we're all people, I guess. This is a very human movie. Like there
I'll
are
give you
good
that.
human relationships in this movie that transpire, and I saw that was actually a big part of the positive criticism of this movie, was that it was a noir where it didn't feel like the people were dolls or plastic or whatever. Like they were living, breathing human beings, and the
or
movie-
dying human beings.
or dying human
Yeah.
beings.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, they gin up a fake medical thing to say that his leukemia is way worse, and then he immediately dies. So that's very confusing.
very confusing. Well, here's the thing. I never bought that he would shoot anybody anyway. He just I just don't think it was in him.
No, I assumed that he's medically fucked and he's just getting worse and worse as the film progresses. Having seen the whole movie, you know, that he does get worse and worse and worse. The problem is that, like,
The other
it-
doctor says that
Yeah.
you know he shouldn't be exerting himself when he runs up to him in the tunnel.
Yes.
no, that
And
picture
he
behind you,
looks like
Jim,
nothing
that's
but exerting himself.
that picture behind you, Jim. That's
Correct.
that's the shot right
Yeah.
there. That
Oh,
was-
that's on the I had to go to the Internet Firearms
Yeah.
database
Mhm.
for this,
Mhm.
and that's on the Internet Movie Firearms database, and
Yeah.
it's like that is the coolest shot.
Oh wait,
Like-
wasn't there a revolver with a silencer? Wasn't that his note?
That's like total
That was
bullshit.
his work.
Okay, I saw a revolver with a silencer. Am I right?
So okay, but that's a Smith,
Okay.
that's a Smith and Wesson Model 26, I think, and it has
Okay.
a really, really, really narrow gap between the cylinder
Okay.
and the barrel. So it will functionally reduce the noise
Mhm.
considerably more than like on my
Okay.
Ruger or something like that.
so it's a
Like, not-
silenceable revolver.
it'll reduce the noise.
Okay.
It'll be about as loud as the 25 auto that he shoots the guy with on the elevator. or
This is good to
escalator.
know, actually.
Can we just talk about Robbie Mueller for a second, who is really the MVP of this movie?
Who?
Yes.
Robbie Mueller, cinematographer.
Oh yeah.
Fucking, this movie is
It's a good looking film.
Uh-huh.
gorgeous with a capital G.
Oh, it
And
is.
it's so
Just
funny 'cause I just watched Repo Man about 2 weeks ago. I was flipping around and it just happened to be on. I caught 3 or 4, like 3/4 of it, 7/8 of it, whatever. I was like, I forgot how good this movie looks. And you start looking, like, oh right, this is Robbie Mueller's American movie. And then you look at his career after that point, and that's when he hooked up with Jarmusch. He did, like, he started making like A-list, B-list Hollywood movies. Like I think that, you know, his Jarmusch stuff is some of the most gorgeous things. But I think this movie is spectacularly shot.
What did he shoot? What did he shoot for Jarmusch?
What's that?
What did he shoot for Jarmusch?
Mystery Train, Down by Law, maybe 1 or 2 others.
But not Stranger Than Paradise, though.
Favorite.
No, not Stranger Than Paradise.
But this movie has a look that is just, even when there's nothing happening, I was just like, fuck, this is like so well shot.
There's that shot of Dennis Hopper in his weird jumpsuit laying on the bed with the red.
I love that.
Crazy the way that like the thing behind me where everything's kind of gray and off earth tones, and then there'll be these red chairs that are popping, like her red sweater or the cars, or like always.
Well,
something
about even a little bit
the red crane coming across in front of the window, and it's like this far from the window too.
I thought it was gonna
the red
dash in there.
Even though I didn't finish it, the red, you can tell.
Light everything with fluorescent bulbs.
And yes, the fluorescent green.
Yeah,
I saw a lot of
did a lot of natural light in this one. There's lots of halogen street lights, that kind of thing. You can tell it's really
the cinematography for me pushed this way into the must-see category because I thought it was so gorgeous.
This is right up your alley, isn't it, Chris? Especially that fluorescent green lighting, like that's the color of the 70s movies.
Oh, I love this. I love that too. Like honestly, like this movie to me hit on all cylinders for most of it. It's again, I think it's a little long, but
I'm looking at the shot behind Chris with the red chairs. Which I didn't make it that far, but I saw the first like quarter, almost half, and the red is a theme because if you remember when he first goes out on the balcony, those huge red curtains, and then when that other guy, I think it was like the maid comes through, there's a huge red door. And she's going to give him the food, and he says, "No, I don't fucking want that," or whatever.
Oh, he walks into his hotel room in the Nico in Paris.
Yeah,
the hallway's like this
really bright, solid reds.
I know,
like here and there.
It's a great city movie.
No, I'll not fault this film for being beautifully shot, and everything was great. The way it was, like, the compositions and layouts were just fantastic.
Even some of the kind of some of the more like action oriented stuff, like when the guy starts to climb over the little gap that Gans is walking through, and he sees him up there and then grabs his leg and pulls him down. Just the way that it's shot, where it comes in with him like this and then it tilts up with his point of view to see the guy, is so wonderful. It's just like, no, get down in that trench with him and follow him and follow his gaze. I was blown away in that. And then all of a sudden Hopper pops out the fucking window like he's in, I don't know, like Pee-wee's Playhouse, and he's just like, boom, light comes on. Hey, that guy's dead. Anyway, take his jacket and his hat and let's go fuck these other people up. Like,
and that whole business with the ambulance. I mean, holy shit. That's where
you got pretty close to the end, John. That's really close.
Wait,
when she walks over and taps the guy's head and then just grabs her purse and fucks off, like I was laughing my ass off when that happened. She's just like, I'm not having anything else to do with it.
No, he's talking about Bruno Ganson's wife's character.
Gives her a cigarette.
I know, I liked her so much in this because going to what Tad said about this being kind of a humanistic story. Her reactions to what was happening to him and what he was doing felt incredibly real.
Yeah.
It's like
I love that the kids had a zoetrope.
Yeah,
in the house.
Concerned to like worried to like just frustrated with him, and like all that time is just anxious because he knows he's sick, and she did a fantastic job.
Well, and when he's like, "Can I just sleep for a while?" When he lays down and puts his head on her leg, and he's and it's just like, "Can I sleep for a while?" And she's like, "Yeah, you can. Like, absolutely, you're dying."
Right. That was good. No, she was fantastic. She really was the heart of this film in a lot of ways.
But who I was talking about was I'm assuming prostitute who was in the.
Oh, her, yeah, she was great.
Yeah, where she just slaps the dude's head and grabs her purse and dips out. Like that's such a great.
Gone, see ya.
So I want to mention my favorite scene, and I mentioned this to Wim Wenders when I met him at a.
Oh, hey, please.
Wow. So there's that scene in the airport where he says, like, I'm going to France, and you see him, he's like on a train, and then or like a, subway. And then all of a sudden he's in Orly Airport because it's got all those weird fucking things
those
going
tubes.
on.
Yeah. Strange.
Which you've seen in like at least 2 covers of albums from.
Oh, yeah. The Alan Parsons Project? Is that the Alan Parsons Project?
It is the Alan Parsons Project.
Which I think was some kind of hovercraft.
So they come in and he starts walking, and you've got this tracking shot with him walking. And then the tracking shot has the reverse angle from his POV, but you realize it's not him because he's asleep
sitting
on that
there.
chair, sitting
there. Yes.
And I said to Wim, so this is a really nice scene. I really liked it. It seems a little confusing, but I thought it worked. What was it all about? He was like, yeah, well, it's supposed to be. It's like traveling is unsettling at some.
This is right after the guy literally like falls down on the escalator.
Yeah.
And we just just move right on by.
Okay, so
what was that? I was like, is he gonna help that guy? What the fuck just happened?
I had that same feeling about what the fuck is this? Why does that happen?
Yeah.
And then I realized, it's because he shoots the guy and he falls down and he keeps going up the escalator, and then he just stops at the top.
Yeah.
And did you notice that next to him, this is the first time I noticed this, is the bloody bandage?
I noticed that.
Yeah, he dropped it. Yeah.
Dropped it.
Oh, Wim Wenders.
However, what the fuck is going on with him hitting his head every 30 seconds for the first half of this movie?
No,
because he just keeps fucking banging his head on shit.
No, that's good because it kind of shows you how disoriented he is. He's just like walking into shit all the time. I felt that.
He bangs into that tram like 4 times.
That's just no. Wim Wenders' story. I was at the Musso and Frank's Grill in LA, and he walked in with this gigantic arm candy date, and waiting for a table. And I thought he was about to leave because he couldn't get one. And me and my couple of friends were watching him, kind of like, let's see what happens here. And he actually got a table in the back, and he was not happy about it. That's my Wim Wenders story.